Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, we're going to talk about something that's a little bit different than normal. How about turning 100,000 into a million? That's right, it's not overnight. Of course not. It has to do with using other people's money, but you don't have to ask for it. And welcome to Foci Optics. Check. Stop struggling now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to thank you for being here on the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page. And once again, please share the videos. This can help other people. You never know who it can help. And if you'd like to become a member of the channel, please click the join button over here on the right hand side. That's how you receive special messages under the community tab, and you also receive 1 or 2 videos per month specifically for you. You receive also links so you can come into the live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday anytime you want. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, click the red button on the right hand side, and please click the all notification bell. Now, without further ado, you heard the big talk, transferring, changing $100,000 into 1 million. That's right, you did hear the part I said. It does take time. There are some steps. There is never this get rich quick schemes. That's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. But the first thing is you have to act, you have to believe, you have to do something. So we're going to go to mathematics. We're going to go to something called real estate. So you guys understand that's where we're going with this. And your real estate market, if it is prolific, meaning it's moving up, that's a good sign. So what I'm going to do is, since I'm staying with the Dominican Republic, I'll use that as our example because it's real time, real numbers, real everything. All right, so if you're new here, you don't know what's happened over the last year, I'll bring you up to speed on some aspect of what I'm referring to. A lot of you may not know, we're talking about 100,000. So some of you don't know I bought a $123,000 penthouse unit in Vista Cana. All right. Also, the reason why I'm adding 82,000 is because this is the second penthouse unit in Primavera. Now, that equals 205,000, and some of you may already be going, Eric, that's 205,000. Exactly. But that's not what we're going to be paying out of our pocket. So the $100,000 figure is why? Because you had to put down 10%. So that's still only 20 grand when you look at it, 20,500. Then over the course of 2 years to 2.5 years, you had to pay 30%. So that's a total of 40% down out of your pocket. So instead of 205, we times this by 40%. And now the magic number, less than 100,000. I know some of you are still saying, Eric, how are we going to get to this million number? Here's what I'm going to tell you next. So a lot of you who've been tracking us and who's been here at the SSN Nation know that even the Dominican Republic said property values have increased 30% due to the cost of goods and services. Not that the property value has been assessed or appraised for that value. They just know 30% more because it costs 30% more to build the exact same properties. What you may or may not know, I know some of you do know this, trying to get a 2-bedroom penthouse unit in Punta Cana near downtown with amenities, you cannot find one for less than $189,000. All right? So, is anybody going to argue that either one of these penthouse units are not going to be worth $189 right now? Never mind, they're not built yet. Still have a year to go. Property values could actually increase more, but we're going to use today's numbers to make it even easier for you. So what I'm going to do is, we have $82,000. That's the only amount coming out of our pocket. I want you to understand. Then I'm going to give one of them $189. All right. One of them I'll say is $189. I will say it's worth more than that now, but I won't get into that. One's $189, and the other one, $82,000 plus 30s, 24. I'm going to actually be a little generous because you cannot find a penthouse unit, like I said, for under $189. So even though the other one is valued lower, I'm going to value it lower. So I'm going to say, okay, plus $149. So let me know if you guys think that's fair down below. All right. So now we have a total value-wise $338,000. All right. So some of you were saying, Eric, we're still not at that million number. Yes, this is true. But remember, over time, ladies and gentlemen. Now, here's the other factors that's going to come into play. Remember, we only spent 82. And remember, I was saying at the beginning, you don't have to use some of your money. You know why? Because you have put down 40%. Your property value, you are below 50% LTV. You only owe 125, let's say, right? So you can easily see if your values are 338 and you only owe 125, that's like almost a third. Therefore, most 100% of banks will be giving you a loan for the remaining amount. Okay? So you guys with me so far? So we didn't use none of our money. So where are we going to get the rest of the money? Well, let me start out with the first thing. First, you have to remember you only owe 205, right? So here's a beautiful thing. And I won't even get into what I think is going to happen another year from now. But you and we, whoever's in there, in fact, there's 30 some people that have in the SSN Nation that have purchased a pre-construction property in Dominican Republic. One person actually purchased in Santo Domingo an existing condo. So it was already built, not pre-construction. But that's how many people here in SSN Nation have purchased, and we have more people buying it. Now, the 133 represents equity, ladies and gentlemen, after your loan is added. That's right. You're going to have $133,000 in profit, as they say. All right? Because remember, we're only going to owe 125 in reality, pay on the loan, but we still have this equity. It's worth 338. We only owe 205 because we have 0% interest over the last few years. While we're paying monthly, we don't have an interest rate. Interest rate won't kick in until we get a loan for that 125. But anyhow, that's $133,000 in equity. Anybody want to tell me the SSN Nation way, the Stop Struggling Now way, what are we supposed to do with this equity that we're going to have here? After we get our loans, right? We owe 205, but our properties together is worth 338. Well, this time next year is probably going to be higher than that, but I'll stick with this conservative number. All right. So now you have two things going on. Now, stick with me. It's mathematical equations, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that hard. So now you realize you have $1/3 value with your properties. You also realize you have $133,000. What else do you have? You have assets. Assets, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So now, what are we going to do? We are going to be renting these out, not month to month, where you're only going to get $1,200 or $1,000 or $1,500 per month. You're going to rent them out due to vacation rentals, because you are going to be able to charge people not $20 or $30 per night to make, $50 per night, which would give you 50 times 30 is $1,500. Although that would be nice, right? If you had a long-term tenant, that would be $1,500 a year. That'd be $18,000. Or would you rather rent something out for $150 a night? $200 per night? Not for the whole month, but just for a week or two. Because a week almost equals your $1,500 at $200 a night. And what else happens when it goes to 2 weeks? Now you are getting $3,000 per month if you're able to do 2 weeks. And the reason why this is exciting is because right now, during the pandemic, hotels are filled 96% occupancy in the Punta Cana area. What do you think is going to happen when they have a record number of tourists in December, January, February, March, and April? There's going to be records. Mark my words. Come back and tell me, Eric, you were wrong. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong. Especially when you know what the airlines, the airport, the tourism industry has been doing. They've been ramping it up all over the world. And people have committed to bringing thousands more tourists to the Punta Cana area. So I don't think I'm going to be wrong. What that means then is the value of your property actually increases, which I have not calculated into the fact. It also means you're going to be able to charge more for rent because there's not going to be that many places available. They don't have millions of places available for people to stay, especially when you start going over a party of 4 and go to a party of 6. Then if you can get to a party of 8, now things get kind of even smaller. And then if you can get to a party of 10, then there's not that many places available for a party of 10 to stay. All right. So once you realize you can get money this way using vacation rentals, I'm going to go back to the calculator. I'm going to give you some numbers. All right. So here's what the numbers, I'm not going to be conservative like I normally am. Normally everybody knows, I do 1 week during prime time, and then I do 1 week off season, meaning 7 nights. That's it. Well, the odds of you only renting 7 nights when it's 86 or 96% occupancy in hotels right now, hotels are going to be booked. People are going to have to find a place to stay. Millions of people. So therefore, I think I can now go 50% occupancy, right? It's 86% occupancy on average in the Dominican Republic throughout, not just Punta Cana, throughout the Dominican Republic. It's 86% occupancy rate throughout the year. So what that means is this year they're going to have 100% occupancy, 99%, 100% occupancy during prime time. And then that means during low season, it's going to average out. So they'll probably have around, 75% during low season. Either way, 75% is still 3 weeks of rentals, right? So I think it's safe to assume that we can do 50% and be safe without hedging anything. So what we're going to do is, keep in mind, write these numbers down. Remember, we have $133,000 in equity right now, okay? After they finish building this. We're probably going to have more, but we're going to stick with the conservative number. Now, I'm also going to do 2 different things. One place that I have is in a resort. It's in an awesome place. Everybody knows I've been repping Vista Cana simply because it has everything in there, except a water park, okay? But they have everything that you would want at a resort. The fishing, a saltwater beach, man-made lake, 2 of them, by the way, not just one like originally thought. Beach clubs, meaning restaurants, bars on this beach and waterways, cigar lounge, art galleries, fitness workout rooms, you name it, sports complex, you name it. That's the spot. So I'm going to try to be a little conservative, even though I know what I'm charging. So I guess I should go with what I'm charging. All right. It doesn't really matter what everybody else is charging, because if you know there's going to be demand, there's no reason for you to slouch on a lower price, especially where you know you have just what I just said: the art gallery, the yoga gallery, the fitness center, the restaurant, the spa is in your backyard. It's literally 50 yards away from my unit. So therefore, these are added bonuses. So I'm going to charge people $300 per night. I'm just going to tell you straight up. Everybody else might charge $150, but I'm charging $300. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a number. 300 times 7 is 2,100. So we're going to use 2,000 just to round down. I'm going to use 2 weeks. So we're going to go 4,000, right? 4,000 times 4 is 16,000. I won't even calculate this incorrectly. Hold on. What's going on? Let's go. Clear me. All right. Let's go. 16,000, right? Then what I do is I'm very conservative. I take half, which is unheard of. $1,000. I'm not going to be charging $150 a night, but $1,000 is half for a week. So 2 weeks during the off season, the other 8 months. So that's $16,000 again. Okay? So now we have $32,000 a year from one. All right? Now, what I'm going to do is you guys are going to have to give a leap of faith. So what I'm going to do is this one, I'm going to charge this rate. The other one, I'm going to charge less. Why less? Because it doesn't have all the amenities the other one has. This is how you have to think when you're an investor. So what we're going to do, is that 320,000? Yes, that's not how much it is. It's 32,000, ladies and gentlemen, is what that calculates out to per year. The other one, because it's not the same, I'm going to drop it down to 25 just to save time. So we're going to have 32,000 plus 25,000 from the other one. $57,000, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so here we are. Remember that time that I was talking about? And never mind if you actually reach the numbers. If you actually reach the numbers where we're 95 or 100% occupancy rate for hotels, and now people have to come find their Airbnbs, VRBOs. Never mind if it's 3 weeks. Never mind if you're actually able to get 25 days a month rented or 27 days a month rented. These are only 2 weeks a month, and we have 57,000 being conservative. So we have 57,000, right? Profit. I'll use profits, but it's a gray area on that. Might be a little less after we have to pay something. But nonetheless, we'll stick with this 57,000. And keep in mind, you wrote it down. I didn't write it down. Hopefully you wrote it down. I believe it's 338,000 is what our property's worth. And out of that, 133,000 is equity. All right. So 57,000 a year. Actually, I should say this as well. It's not going to be 57,000 a year. Why? Cost of goods and services go up. Inflation goes up. I'm going to tell you right now, Airbnb, year over year, I had to raise the prices 30%, 40%, just to be under what the timeshare hotel charges people. What they used to charge for $299, they are now charging $429, $459. So I had to raise my prices up to $379 from $299. It's crazy. So the same thing could happen here. So when you start thinking you're going 10 years from now, $57,000 a year. Even if you got $57,000 in 10 years, that's $570, ladies and gentlemen. You see where I'm getting the million now? That's $570 in 10 years. And that's why I said it takes time. But what are we going to do though, right? What are we going to do? Here's what we're also going to do. So we're going to go 57,000 times 10 is 570. But I don't really like that number because you have to raise prices. Everything's not going to be the same. So if you start doing what you should be thinking about, where it's a simple 10% per year, now you start finding out all of a sudden 57,000 is really 60 on year 2, right? Let me see if this will do it. I don't think it will. No, it won't. All right. So that's going to give us about 5,007. So that'll be 60,000, right? Year 2. So that's 100 and what is that? 117? I can't remember. But anyhow, 60. Why don't we just do it? All right, so you guys can stay on board. Some of you might be saying, Eric, I'm not getting what you're getting at yet. 117. All right. Now, the 60 is going to be 66 the following year, right? All right, you guys see where I'm going with this now? You understand? We're at 183. All right, keep in mind our property value is also going up. So let's just say it stays simple at 10% for our property values. That 338 is now over 360, 370. The following year, it's in 400 land. Now, that is where I'm going to cap 400. All right? But before we get to year 2, what we're going to do in year 1 with our $133,000, we're going to get a HELOC. We're going to get a home equity line of credit. You know what we're going to do with that $50,000 or $60,000? We are going to go buy another property. That's right. A third property where we're going to put down, well, now you got to put down 15%, and now you're going to have to pay 50% while they're doing construction, because they want 15% down and 35% during construction now. Things have changed. All right. So that's what we're going to do with about 50,000. Get another property, and now 3 properties, and instead of 57, we will be somewhere around $85,000 per year. So we're going to add another 25,000. I'll be conservative, which actually that's going to be really low after year 1. But here's our number. 208,000, ladies and gentlemen. Year 3. All right? So you guys are starting to understand at around year 5, not only are you going to have $500,000, you're also going to have, now remember how I get there, 57,000. We're raising up 10% the rental rate, which is not unheard of. We'll drop it down to 5% to be conservative, but we are already at 183. All right, at year 3. Year 4, and when I added the other 25, now we have 75. So let me recap for you in case you guys, I think in my head a lot faster. But let's just say we are doing 50 plus 32. Actually, the number is I did 25,000 for 2 units, right? So that's 50. And then the other unit we did 32,000. Yeah. So that's 80. Yeah, okay. Plus 32,000. All right. So here we are. Just to give everybody the numbers, we're at 82,000. All right. First year, 57. Second year, we're going to be even higher than this because second year we're going to be 10% more. So add it, we'll be at 90,000 actually. So I'm going to add 10,000. All right. No. Here we go. 92, our second year. 100, our third year, conservatively. Now, remember, our property, we only borrowed 50. We still have that 133, and obviously our price values have increased, right? So, year 4, we're going to have $100,000 a year coming in. That means we've already collected 100, 192, 82, so that's what, 260, and then we did 50 something the first year. All right, 300. We're at 300. We have property that's valued over 300, so that's 600, right? Do you think the property values went up from 338 over the last 2, 3, 4 years? I think it has, right? So let's just go up and be very, very generous and go, hey, you know what? It went up because they crashed or something. The property value has now rebounded. And let's just use the 338 and let's just be conservative and we'll use 10% per year on that too. Even though it's higher than that right now, but you never know the future, especially when they build downtown and have Kathmandu and the parks and the new hotels, the new amusement park. All right, so you're going to have to remember all this is going to be added value for you. So the 338 year 1 is going to be 30,000 more. So that's just being conservative. So now we're at 360. The 360 is going to be 400 at year 2. Right? You guys getting it yet? Year 3, 440. Year 5, 480. That's 500. Well, between the $100,000 per year that you're going to be collecting, or the $87,000 for the last 3 years, the first year $57,000, now it's $100,000. Guess what? You'll have $500,000 worth of property, $500,000 worth of cash has come through your hand. How easy is that, ladies and gentlemen? That is why the wealthy always get wealthier. Not because you're going out here borrowing like credit cards and paying for cars and doing all these things that go down in value. Just because you're using your money to apply towards something that goes up in value traditionally. And you're receiving revenue from it. That means it's an asset. That's where you want to be. That's how you get to your million. Because keep in mind, at year 5, you're going to be collecting well over $100,000 a year from your rentals. Your property is going to be worth 500, maybe more, who knows. And therefore, you could actually cash out in reality if you wanted to and say, hey, I'm going to sell this property. Yes, you have that IOU. Remember, you have an HELOC of 50,000. You had a loan of 112. So you could get 380,000 roughly. So overall, you could have gotten your hands on nearly 1 million cash, because 300,000 plus the 400,000 or 500,000 you would have been collecting over 5 years. So in 5 years, ladies and gentlemen, that is your game plan, freedom paper, how we do this. And this is why I have been very, very excited about Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. All right. And I've been long-winded on this, but it's okay. I just wanted you guys to see and understand. In fact, I probably should have just went here because this is my one of my favorite places. And now there's another place, Las Terranas, that's pretty cool too. But this is what we're dealing with. And this is what's coming. And downtown is even more going to be spectacular as well. So let me know what you guys think, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think this is doable? Oh, and if you're still here, I forgot to mention, no credit check, no qualifying to get started. The down payment is your money. You pay during the construction of the property. They don't check your credit. All you need is your money to put in. And then later on, whether you pay it in full when it's time upon delivery of the unit, or if you finance it, either way, remember, it only takes a few years to change your life, but are you willing to put in the work? And with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. And that's why sometimes I have to discuss these things in videos so people can understand it's not that it's hard. It's not that somebody's smarter than you. It's just that most people can't wait for a 3, 4, 5, or 6 year plan. Everybody wants it now. Everybody wants it within a year. That's not how wealth building works, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you've heard that word, sacrifice. Sometimes you have to do things differently in order to sacrifice for your future later. It's not always a good choice, but sometimes you have to do it. And especially if this is what you want to do and where you want to achieve a level of success, this is what you have to do. Just one way of the many ways that we talk about doing it here in the SSN Nation. So again, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.